What really speaks to me in the Habitat mission is the sense of empowerment. What we offer families is an opportunity. That's it. Short and simple. It's an extraordinary opportunity. But it is only one they can be successful at if they are willing to work hard for it. And those are the values that I grew up with, growing up in the farming community. I think they're values that speak to a lot of people, whatever your politics or your background. I really like the idea of empowering people to build a better future for themselves. One of the things I think many people don't know for our affiliate, Habitat Choptank, we require that all of our families be debt-free by the day they go to settlement. If you are low income, if your total household income is $32,000, to get to a place where you have zero outstanding collectible debt, you can have a car payment as long as you're paying it. You could have a student loan. We've never seen that, but we would allow that. Otherwise, our families have to have zero debt. Wow. That is transformative. To get to that place where you have taken responsibility for your finances and you are empowered to make better decisions, that's transformative. That's how you help your children change their future. That's how you make generational change. That's how you help families who have come from generational poverty really start to make long-term lasting changes for themselves, right? So we get calls here at the office every week, truly, every week from families who are interested in improving their housing condition. Last year, we completed 154 intakes between Talbot and Dorchester County, and that's of having screened out the people who just don't have a job, you can't buy a house if you don't have a job, those folks that just aren't going to income qualify. Once a family inquires with us, we verify their income. We're looking to qualify families who are low income. And when I say family, we use that term generically. We have to follow fair housing law, so it's up to you to decide what your family is. You don't have to have children. But when we look at a new applicant, we want to see that they're low income. For us, that means, just for instance, for a family of four, you would have a total household income roughly between $28,000 and $48,000 a year. We're also looking to see that in that, you're low income, you can't go to a bank and get a conventional mortgage, but you have enough income that it looks like you can assume responsibilities for homeownership because we're the bank for our homes. We provide the mortgage, so it's very important to us that that mortgage be paid back. Yeah. We want to make sure that our families are going to have some leftover funds after they pay the utility bills, the property taxes, their mortgage, that they can maintain the home because it's theirs. When it needs a new roof in 20 years, you don't come back and put the roof on, it's theirs. So we look at their income, we do a home visit, we verify their employment, we check their landlord references, we meet with them one-on-one to review their debt, we pull a credit report. We don't evaluate just on credit score because, quite frankly, the population we're serving, their credit stinks. That's part of the reason they can't go to a bank and get a mortgage. We do look, though, very closely at their debt-to-income ratios because, again, they've got to have enough money left over in the pot to be successful at this. It's easy to find families in our community that income qualify. We have plenty, probably about a quarter of the local community in Talbot and Dorchester County at least would be in our income range. But finding families that meet our debt requirements or are willing to achieve them, that's just an audacious thing to take on. So we regularly see families who apply to us and have several $1,000s in debt, and it will take them a couple years to first get it down to $1,000. That's the first step, and then we bring them into the program. And then by settlement, they have to have zero debt. Once a family is approved for the program, they become a partner with us. Each family has to complete 300 to 400 hours of sweat equity, actually being out on their job site, helping to build their home and future Habitat homes. They have to save their $4,000, pay off any outstanding debts, keep all that clean because we will run the credit report about 2 weeks before settlement. They also attend homeowner education classes, which we hold quarterly, about budget and financing, home repairs, health and safety issues at home, just being a good neighbor. A lot of our families, not all, but for a lot of them, they've struggled so much in their housing. They've been spending so much on their housing costs. They've been moving every 16 to 18 months. Now it's very different to own your own home, to be putting roots down in that community, to have responsibilities as a homeowner, not just to your own home, but to your neighbors. So we try to talk about that through the process so they're prepared. For some of our families, that once they qualify, they can do that part in a year to 2 years, depending on where our construction schedule is. So it's a commitment. This is not a quick fix. You know, we do unfortunately receive calls from people who say, I'm going to be evicted tomorrow. Can I get a house? No. This is not emergency housing. This is about a long-term option for families to improve their housing condition. This past July, we celebrated the completion of our 59th house with the dedication of 701 High Street in Cambridge. We currently have 4 homes under construction, and we have plans to start at least 4 homes over the coming year, assuming that we can raise the funds to do so. We have families in the pipeline, we have the land, we have the house plans. The key is the funding. Every day in our office is a capital campaign. You know, we have to buy our materials. People think the materials are donated, and we certainly do have some nice contractors and vendors in the community who try to work with us. But quite frankly, for a lot of those businesses, their business isn't back at the level it used to be to allow them to really donate to us. So I always like to tell people when they see a new Habitat home under construction, driving down the street, see that as a giving opportunity. Do not assume that because we've started building that we have all the financing up front to build that house, because it's a process.
Yeah, so let me...
The other piece that we're looking at to expand the number of families that we serve is to initiate a home repair program for low-income homeowners, not Habitat homeowners, but just low-income homeowners in our communities, because we receive a significant amount of calls in our office from people, particularly folks aging in place in a home that they were able to maintain for so many years. Now they're elderly, they're seniors, and they just don't have the funds to replace that roof. Maybe they're living in a house that was never well insulated, and now they're really seeing the cost of that. Might need a wheelchair access or some sort of handicap access. So we've just piloted 5 repair projects in Cambridge based on some specific funding that we have received. And like a lot of Habitat affiliates in the country, this is an area that we will probably start to get into more and more, just because of the volume of need. So Millard Fuller, who was the founder of Habitat International, always said that the home doesn't change everything. You know, the house is a means to other things, and it's that education and support that has to be a part of this. So we have seen for some of our families, they tell us, not just we've seen it, but they tell us how this experience has changed their lives. And many of those families speak for us at events and really share their stories. So I'll share some of their stories. Habitat was founded in the church. We are a Christian-based housing ministry. Many of our program practices, the idea of partnership housing, that we are not here to serve families but partner with them, that we all have the ability to wield the hammer. Jesus Christ was a carpenter after all. The idea of a zero interest loan, that we sell our homes at no profit with a zero interest loan, is based on scripture. Now, all sorts of people volunteer with Habitat. People come to Habitat and get involved and stay involved for a variety of reasons. But for some people, it is certainly their faith that calls them to this. I think it's also for a lot of our families, for our home buyers, it is their faith that propels them through this, because I cannot say enough, it is an audacious challenge to pick up that phone when you are just trying on a day-to-day basis to keep your head above water and start to have a conversation with someone that you've never met before, who's going to ask you all kinds of personal questions about how you might become a homeowner. You might not know many other people who are homeowners, yet you're willing to dream that you might be able to do that.